Hello. Welcome to the Oaktree Dugout. I'm Shubhi. It's the holiday season, so we thought we'd bring you some festive cheer. A good old cricket discussion back in the Oaktree Dugout. I'm huddled up here with some of my teammates. I've got Neerav here with me.
Hi.
Hey
Hey,
Neerav, we got Rakesh,
Hello.
and we've got GK, whose camera's being turned on. How's it going, guys?
Why is
How's
my
the end
camera
of the year?
off? Whoa. Whoa. Hang on a second. Here I am. It just went off on its own. Camera doesn't like. Did you guys do this? Did any of you do this? Did you do this?
Me and Mohit planned this beforehand.
Oh, what's
Yeah.
going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hey guys, how's it going?
All good. I was asking how you guys celebrating end of the year. It's Christmas Eve. Any plans? You guys doing anything?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we're live on YouTube.
box
Um,
live
discussing
on
cricket.
YouTube, Boxing Day
Couldn't,
Test
couldn't,
match.
couldn't, couldn't get better, right? Couldn't
Yeah,
get better.
working during the holiday
Working on
season.
Christmas Eve and chatting about cricket.
Absolutely. GK, I saw on Twitter you posted about watching 83. I'm going for it Sunday. Do you like the film?
I absolutely loved it. I actually saw a screening about 3 weeks ago. It just happened
Wow.
to be the test print. So Kabir was testing the first print, and he called me. I've actually been kind of loosely associated with the film, with in no formal way for like the last 4 years, because 5 years actually, when Kabir started scripting it, and Madhu Mantena had got the rights, and they were telling me all these stories at one dinner, and then the the inaugural announcement event, Ranveer and I had co-hosted. So there's a lot of videos of that are on
Yeah,
with
I saw that. Yeah.
Shrikant telling these amazing stories, and we were just like non-strikers of Shrikant, just standing on stage and having fun and laughing. Because they were all of them were so funny and so amazing. And the thing is, the story is a movie in itself, right? The actual story of reality as it happened is a movie. Like, it's a script. If you wrote
Yeah.
it, people would say, "Ah, man, it's too convenient, yeah, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, how can it be like this?" But that's how it played out. Underdogs, they win 2 matches, they get complacent, overconfident, excited, they lose the next 2 matches. Then they have a do or die, or a, what is it? What does Ranveer say in the film?
I haven't
Uh,
seen it yet.
We
don't or
wouldn't
die.
know.
Do
Yeah.
or don't. Huh? So, what?
Oh, it's in the
We
trailer. It's
wouldn't
in the
know.
trailer, I think. I think it's in
We
that trailer.
wouldn't
It's in the
know
trailer. Yeah.
because
Yeah, no, it's in the trailer. So that's why I was asking Shubi. So it's a do or die match. They are 17 for 5. And Kapil Dev comes and hits a world record. I mean, it's like, are you kidding? Like, this is what happened in reality. But the world that they've created is amazing. All the actors are brilliant in their parts. Forget the players. Even Pankaj Tripathi is amazing. The West Indies cast, just everything is just absolutely fantastic. So I really love the film, and I urge people to go out and see it safely. Wear your mask and go out and watch it.
Yeah, I'm going for it on Sunday. So no spoilers in the comments. So GK
Yeah.
is
I
no
won't tell you if
spoilers.
India wins or not in the
Yeah,
end.
yeah, yeah. That's a cliffhanger.
And
But
just like that 175, GK is having technical issues.
That's right. Can you see me? I'm here, right?
yeah, now you're good.
yeah, now we can see.
So, so anyways, today we're talking about India, South Africa, but let's stick with the past for a bit because 9 years after 83, the Indian team toured South Africa for the first time post-apartheid. And GK, we had Amrit Mathur on the 22 Yarns podcast where
Yeah.
he spoke about that tour and some amazing stories there, right?
My favorite was that because of apartheid and because South Africa was cut off from the world, the team actually didn't know what conditions they were going to play in, what the grounds are going to be. And today, 30 years later, that seems like such a weird phenomena, right? Because everyone's analyzing, this will be the pitch, this is the outfield. You just know every test match that's going to be played in England, in Australia, in India, you know what the pitch is going to do, what the conditions are going to be. You're planning for it. Oh, we're already discussing South Africa, right? At that time, they went in blind. They had no idea what the surfaces will be, pitches will be, stadium. Does it have a stand? Does it not? Does it have a dressing room? Is there running water? Like, I'm joking a bit, but it seemed like they didn't know any of these things. So for me, I thought that was just the most fascinating part because it seems so unreal when thought about it, when you think about it in modern day context.
But it was also more than cricket as well, right? That tour, like post apartheid, it was a big deal for South Africa that the Indian team was touring. That Amrit Mathur also spoke about how there were, these motorcades, and then there were these big fancy dinners in the town also. It was called the Freedom Tour, so it was more than just cricket for them, right?
It was going to be, right, because it was such a statement that South Africa had to make to the world. They had come out of apartheid. Nelson Mandela was the president. There was a very tough time in their history, and I'm sure people know about it, but people can read up about that as well. It's a fascinating time in their history. So when I think the watershed moment was when Jagmohan Dalmia invited South Africa to come and play. I think Nirav will confirm that with us. I think 4 or 5 days that they cobbled that tour together in, and they came for 3 one-day internationals. South Africa did, and they got a 4-hour cavalcade welcome in Calcutta, because Calcutta is a sports crazy city, and the people there are just amazing. And Clive Rice was the captain then, who was I think 42, and I don't think he played the tour when India went over there. I don't think he did, but when they went, it was socio-political, it was historic, it was a lot more than just cricket, and that's what made that tour so special. I'll let Nirav add on to that.
No, there was some, obviously. I mean, it's just incredible how that tour came about. One of the things I read somewhere was that the very first time somebody made a call to Dalmia to say, we'd like to discuss something, about 6 months before, was the very first time a call had been made from South Africa to India.
Yeah, Jagmohan Dalmia to Ali Bakar. Jagmohan Dalmia to Ali Bakar is rumored to be the first international call between India and South Africa.
Made from South Africa. Yeah, I mean, it's highly likely. We don't know. Back in, you guys wouldn't know. There was a concept called trunk calls, where you had to call an operator, and then the operator had to connect you to an operator in South Africa, and the other way around. So that was something which happened. And the very first time that team came to India, they came on a aircraft which landed in Kolkata, and that pilot was actually making the flight path. So no other flight had ever come from Cape Town to Kolkata before. So these kind of things are, when you think about it, South Africa was a country was a no-go, one of those countries where they didn't associate themselves with cricket, or rather the world of cricket didn't associate themselves with South Africa. But as a country itself, they didn't. I mean, India didn't have too many great connections with them. I mean, especially there was no direct flight, and there was no direct flight path even. So that's quite a history there. And yes, of course, over the years, touring has been special, and I think not just the fact that we were the country that welcomed them back into the international fold. We got them here, and then a few months later we went there. But yeah, it's been and South Africa has always been great cricket also. So, right, Gaurav said nobody expected the facilities, but I think nobody expected the quality of cricket which came out of that. Not Indians did. We thought it was a minnow team. You know what I mean? Like they were coming into the fold of international cricket. You'd expect them to be pushovers, but South Africa,
because they're not playing that level of cricket, right? They were only playing either rebel tours and used to go to South Africa, or they were playing. I think Sean Pollock said that on the podcast as well, of how he was talking about Graham Pollock and Peter Pollock, right, and how some of the best times were taken away from their careers because of this blackout. But Manan Bhatt has put a very interesting comment saying this is a recorded video. No, brother, it's not. It's 6:11 now. It's 6:11 p.m. on the 24th.
On Friday. Yeah.
It's the 24th. It's Christmas Eve. You will, if you stay around for half an hour, you will see me merge into Santa Claus because I've got duties to do this evening. I've said too much.
It's interesting, right, about South Africa. Even Amrit Mathur spoke about how their cricket infrastructure, the stadiums, the grounds, all of it was incredible. And Rakesh, of course, and Rakesh, you were there for the last time India toured South Africa in the 17-18 leg. Can you corroborate that? Is that true? Like, what was that experience like, and on the field, off the field?
I mean, South Africa is amazing. There is no doubt about it. People keep talking about South Africa, being risky to step out on the, streets, etc., etc. But on field, it was just amazing. That tour is quite a memorable tour, actually, which many feel that India missed the opportunity to win their first Test series over there. And it was a well fought series, but I felt that yes, South Africa did find it very tough to sort of battle it out against India, and India, eventually lost 2-1, but it was an incredible series. It was a series where the pitch was talked about a lot, and I'm sure, like at the start of any high-profile series, we all talk about pitches, but last time around it was the hosts who were a little surprised the way Indian team sort of made the situation to suit their bowling. While South Africa wanted tailor-made pitches to suit their fast bowlers, Indian fast bowlers really surprised them and gave them a very, very tough fight. And also the batters, we must remember what Rahane did in Johannesburg, what Kohli did in Centurion. So yeah, it was quite a memorable series, and I just loved every minute that I spent out there in South Africa.
Especially on that too, the standout point was the Joburg test, right? Where the Indian Pacers bowled India to victory, chasing when South Africa had something like 240 to chase. And it seemed like like a situation where there was like no victory possible. So would it be fair to say that was the start for the India we see today, the dominant India, which has been built around its bowling side? Like, did it, the roots, were they planted in Johannesburg?
Just like they say, success has many fathers. And failure is an orphan. This is a very interesting. Where did it start? This domination team that we have today, and this is something which is damn dangerous, because whenever you say कि यहाँ से start हुआ, the generation before that says, पर हम क्या चने बेचने गए थे, right? So this is very, very dangerous. But you have a factual point which Nirav will elaborate on carefully.
When did it start?
So if you just say about fast bowlers winning, shit, no, I'm not going to take this question only at all, because it's super dangerous.
I give you one thing. The last test of the last series was actually the first time we played a 5-man fast bowling attack. I think there was Bhuvi, Shami,
Hardik including.
So that is fact. Hardik was, if you include Hardik, I mean, at that point of time, pretty much all of them were 135 plus, at the very least. Hardik and so Bhuvi was our slowest bowler. There was Bumrah, Shami, Hardik, Bhuvi, and Ishant. So that was a 5-man, 5-pronged pace attack. I mean, I remember in '92 World Cup, once we tried a 4-man pace attack, and that was a big deal.
I'll name the 4.
We had 5.
I'll name the 4.
Yeah.
Kapil Dev, Javagal Srinath, Manoj Prabhakar, Subroto Banerjee, yes. And that was a big, big deal. And then again in Australia, I think we tried with 3 left-arm fast bowlers once. There was, I think, Zahir, Irfan, RP in the 2007 series. 4-man attack. Maybe Agarkar was the 4th. I can't remember. Yeah. Agarkar was the 4th. That's right.
So that was
these 4 never. There was Zach, Ashu, that's Nehra.
No, Ashu didn't play that series.
But they never played together. If they played together, that would have been quite amazing. But 3 left-handers.
Three played together in one of the matches, yes.
Yeah.
But that was also India's first test win abroad since 2014. So it was a
and I think first one in 4 years. But India's never won a series in South Africa, right? We must add that as well, which is why this series is so important.
I'd like to just put some historical context. I mean, it's always been tough for us to win in South Africa. I mean, if there's one thing I know in cricket, it's India is not a pushover at home, and South Africa is not a pushover at home, right?
Fair enough.
It's the country we actually began touring last. Like, if you look back, I mean, even our first tour to Zimbabwe was right before we went to South Africa. So we've been touring there for 30 years. And we go there every 3 or 4 winters. We always play in December, January, our winter, their summer. So give or take, I'd say about 7 series have happened, should be maybe 8. And we haven't won any. We won the occasional test matches, 3.
This is our 8th series. This will be our 8th.
And all the 3 matches have been, let's say, in the second half of those 30 years. And there is a reason, right? For the first 10 years, let's say our first 3 series, believe it or not, they had actually batting wickets in South Africa. Also, Test cricket, was played a lot more defensively then. So a lot of draws did take place. I mean, in our first series in 92-93, it was a 4-test series, and South Africa just won 1-0, right? I mean, we kept up with them for many times. Maybe they always had the edge, but it was them coming into the international cricket as well, right? And they always have had these very top order batters, right? Going back to the likes of Kepler Wessels, Andrew Hudson, if you've ever remember these guys, Peter
Yep,
Kirsten, Gary
yep.
Kirsten, Daryl Cullinan. And then if you look in the 2000s, Graham Smith, Bota Dippanar, Chuck Cullis, Hashim Amla, they all were these guys who would play the long innings. They would, 300 balls.
Have we lost him? Have we lost Neerav?
Yeah.
We lost Neerav. So, Rakesh, what are some of... Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I just had one point to make regarding the last tour. I'm not sure if you remember, Bhuvneshwar Kumar was our man of the match in the test match that we won in Joburg. But do you all know what was his performance and why he actually finally won that man of the match? I mean, we know Bhuvneshwar Kumar is a fast...
You're gonna tell us now. Tell us.
Bhuvneshwar
Tease
Kumar,
us, then
Bhuvneshwar
tell
Kumar,
us.
yeah. It's funny that despite having taken only 4 wickets, he became the man of the match in that game. Because it was such a low-scoring game that Bhuvi also contributed with the bat. I remember he scored about 40-odd runs in the first innings, where Indian team and both South Africa and India were finding it tough. And the reason behind that, I think we all know. It was termed at that point in time when the game was being played. That pitch was termed as a dangerous pitch. It hurt both batters from both sides, and many. In fact, on day 3 of that test match, of that Joburg test match, the game had to be called off for that particular day because the pitch was behaving very, very dangerously. And so in that kind of a test match where. And in that particular series, a lot of discussion happened around Faf du Plessis was not happy about the fact that how the pitches in South Africa on that tour were not typical South African wickets, which had carry and bounce. And the test match before that, the one where we are going to start, Centurion, was actually they said, and they were talking about the fact that it was slow and low by South African standards. And Ashwin took 4 wickets in that test match, also first innings. So maybe you can say it was turning, it was slow, and Faf was not too happy with the fact that it was not aiding their fast bowling attack, and also it happened to be the curator who made that Centurion pitch. It was his first test wicket, so the curator was under pressure, captain was under pressure, and the report said later on that probably the curator at Wanderers ended up over compromising and ended up giving a spicier pitch, which was termed dangerous. And ICC, it was very close to being called, being penalized. But it was termed poor in ICC rating later on. So a lot of drama happened.
भावुक हो गया था बेचारा curator.
Yeah.
थोड़ा सा that's it, when you're trying to impress someone with cooking, no, so it's अरे थोड़ी और लाल मिर्ची डाल दो, थोड़ा और नमक डाल दो, थोड़ा और ये डाल दो, फिर ज्यादा ही फिर it becomes, in the words of Jim Carrey from The Mask, a spicy meatball.
Yeah.
Ajay Chawla says, talk about the Ashes. No one cares about Minnow, South Africa, which is that's a very, very strong claim there.
South Africa at home.
Yeah.
Still have.
England also played. England also, like India in 3 years ago, England also played with 5 fast bowlers in the last test match. You know how that worked out for them.
So before we get to the Ashes, let's just chat a little bit about team combination.
The missing players.
Yeah, who's playing, who's not. It's interesting because I feel, given in the last couple of years, the talent India has, this discussion about who's playing, what's our 11, it has become such a big deal. Like, we love fantasizing who's starting, who's not. Like, I came across this long Twitter conversation about why Priyank Panchal should open with KL Rahul. So, Neerav, my question to you, should Priyank Panchal open with KL Rahul?
And Mayank sits?
Priyank Panchal is... he'll have to wait his turn because there is a long queue of openers ahead of him at this point. And the fact that we are even discussing this is because Rohit Sharma is not there. So I think, yes, currently we have in the squad 3 openers who will take their spot ahead of him. And I think given that Mayank got 100 in the last test, he walks in, so does Rahul. Yeah, I think the first our openers for once are settled because of the lack of one person.
But
And Gill
Omkar,
will probably miss out. Yeah.
Omkar's brought up Shreyas or Jinx, and this Rahane question's a big one, right? About does he play? Is this his last chance? What's happening with him? Do we expect him to play all the games?
What's the Rahane stat, guys? I mean, he is that day I was listening on commentary, right? What is it? 20 test matches, only 250s and 100. Is that correct? Some such?
Yeah, just about. I mean, but the thing is that, I mean, I'd go on record and say Rahane is our best player of fast bowling.
Interesting.
And that, I mean, based on his track record, right?
Yeah.
And I think that stood out also in the last test series we had with them. But it's just one of those things that he's currently just in such a bad run of form, or just not making the runs, that it becomes tough to consider him, given that there are people banging down the door. How do you well, the thing is, again, so
His
as I said,
average
the
is
openers
fallen below 40,
in this current squad, Rahane and Kohli are the only two players with an average of above 50 in South Africa in test matches.
Okay, but his
Although
his
all
average
small
is
sample
fallen,
size.
but his average,
Yeah, 3
his
test matches.
test career
Yes.
average is fallen below 40 right now in the
Yes.
previous match.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, I think it has.
I think
So
it
the thing
has.
is,
I'm just going to check it real quick, because that's the thing, right? I mean, we come from again, like Shubhi just made a point right now, said there's so many people, right? There's so many people, and then you're saying,
it's
okay,
correct.
great,
It's not just
yes.
one guy. It's not
How
like
many
is it
chances? How much
Rahane or
do I
Shreyas?
respect pedigree? How much do I respect past achievement? So that's my
No,
question.
the question
I'm not
from
giving
Mr.
an
Jadhav
opinion
which
on it.
came up was Shreyas or Jinx, and I think
Yeah.
it's not as simple as that.
Yeah.
It's, if you were to say, instead of Rahane, if Rahane is one slot and Shreyas Iyer is on form and recent centurion, you blood him, or you take the decision of backing your senior pro with the experience. But I think there is a Hanuma Vihari in the mix, right? And
Yeah.
Hanuma Vihari has played, what was it, 12 tests, out of which 11 have played in overseas conditions,
Yep.
and he's averaging better in these than
So Mohit just
Kohli
put the
and
stat
Pujara.
up.
So,
Mohit just put
yeah.
the stat up. I'm just going to read that out. In the 11 away tests he's featured in, Vihari's average is 34 plus, which is better than that of Pujara, which is exactly 34, and Kohli, which is 32, and not a whole lot worse than Rahane's, which is 38.94, which is close to 39. So Vihari is not that bad. Sorry, which is adding to your point.
and also he's been sent, I mean, which initially seemed like a huge selectorial blunder. He was sent with the India A team to perform there, and he played 3 unofficial, whatever, India A, South Africa A
he got
test
some luck.
matches,
He got some luck.
scored some 50s. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, we would like to view the big hundreds, but the fact of the matter is 50s win matches in South Africa, right?
Yeah.
Case in point, Saurav Ganguly's 51 in that 2006 test, things like that, right? So 50s, 60s are very, very good scores, with the team scoring 200, 250. Mark my words, if you have anything to go by based on the last series, these are going to be 200, 250 run innings, and that's what we're going to have. We're going to have 4-day results. And the team which is like the last time, it's going to come down to the one team chasing 200 in the 4th innings, and if they manage it, great. Or else they are being bowled out short of 200. And so South Africa, who batted first in the first 2 tests, gave us 250 to chase. We couldn't make it, and then same thing we did in the last test.
So but do you think that, I mean, for all the noise that happens around makes us believe that this is kind of last chance hotel for Ajinkya Rahane, right? Which is what you were alluding to as well, Shubhi, that's a lot of noise that's happening around, right? That is this last chance hotel for Rahane. But if it is, then think how life comes a full circle. Now, we don't know what's being chatted inside the team. Maybe the team management is saying, don't worry, buddy, you're going to play 100 test matches for India. So carry on. I don't know. It could be anything, right? But it's so interesting if this noise outside, because 1 year ago, India had already got out for 36. Rahane has become the captain. And then Rahane does what he does. historic, right? So he's on the verge of that. That's a different stress. You're a stress that you're taking over a team that has crashed and has fallen down so hard. 12 months later, you're sitting again in another overseas tour, another Boxing Day match going, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the next test. Jeez, man, life, huh? Life.
And Gaurav, I mean, we should remember that batting is going, like Nirav mentioned, the batting is going to be tough in South Africa. So you need people with experience, and like Nirav mentioned, that he is our best batter against fast bowling. Then you need Rahane, and like I mentioned, he has got runs in South Africa on both tours, and he knows how to fight it out there.
So that's it. Then I mean that answers the question, right? Then you guys would all go with Rahane in the 11 for day after tomorrow for Boxing Day.
I mean, we should at least.
I would for the first test. Yes.
I mean,
So,
after
Ajay
what he did in the
Chawla-
last test match last time around, then he must start. Yeah.
Ajay Chawla is a good point he brings up, right? That Virat, Pujara, and Rahane all have similar stats. So why is the conversation all about Rahane? And I want to touch upon Virat for a little bit, right? That we've spoken a lot about Virat, the captain, in the last few weeks, but this is a really important series for Virat, the captain, or for Virat, the batsman as well, right? That he needs to get some runs, and he has done well in South Africa in the past. The last series, he had got an amazing 153 in the second test. So this is a big series for him. And what do you guys expect? Like, how do you expect he'll deal with all the chatter which is going on around him?
You know that saying, right? When the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that that's him, man. I don't know. I don't think he has anything to prove in terms of his batting pedigree, talent, records. But knowing him and knowing the kind of guy he is, his hunger is insatiable. So he will definitely want to get runs, not just for himself, but for his team, contribute in the team winning a series for the first time in South Africa. He's going to be captain for the entire series as well. So I feel we're going to see a steely resolved Virat in this series.
Yeah, I feel, I mean, Virat Kohli, after all that chatter that has happened around captaincy, etc., he has to, I mean, I'm sure he must be committed to go out there and, just bat and forget about everything else that has happened off the ground. And South Africa has been a happy hunting ground for Virat Kohli. Like you mentioned, he has got 200s there. There is one which is 150 plus. And also, there is another milestone that he's approaching. He's approaching 100 test matches. Only 12th man to be able to do so for India. 97 he's played. So, yeah, why not? He will want to make it memorable, isn't it?
The other 11 who are before him, who have played 100, I mean, should we try and Nira, I'm sure you can name all of them in the back of your hand, right?
Yeah.
One of them has also done 200.
Yeah.
starts with the list starts there. Yeah.
We're talking about humans, though.
Oh, well played. So is it 10 humans?
10 humans.
10 humans and a god.
cricket? Okay.
10 humans and a god of cricket. And Virat will be the famous 12th man. 12th man. Virat, the 12th man.
Joke.
10 humans and a god.
Yeah, but you have to start
Yeah.
at 16 to be able to play 200.
That's true.
Fair.
But I mean, Dravid didn't do badly. What was it? 163? 164?
167 or something. Yeah.
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 I mean-
so he's in the 160s.
Harbhajan is there.
Baju
Harbhajan
Kumble,
is
Sunny
there.
Gavaskar.
Kumble. There's one guy who's probably not going to make it to the 11 this time around. Who's
Ishant?
there in the squad? Ishant.
Ishant.
Played 100 test
correct.
matches.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So-
Ishant's done 100. So how many have we
Saurav,
got?
Rahul, Sachin, Saurav, Rahul, Ishant,
Saurav
Harbhajan,
did Saurav do 100?
Yeah.
Saurav. Oh no, I don't think Saurav has played 100.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Azhar
Lakshman
99.
did.
Lakshman.
Lakshman.
did.
Lakshman.
Let's see.
And we should put that list out actually.
Let's see. He's
Kapil played.
no. You're right. He did.
Yes.
Sorry, Saurav did 113.
Saurav did. Kapil
Saurav
did.
has.
Saurav did. Kapil did. Gavaskar did. Vengsarkar did. Azhar
Lakshman, of
did
course,
not.
did. Lakshman was 134.
Lakshman did.
Yeah.
So who's the
Harbhajan
notable
did.
exclusion?
Kumble.
That's the one I'd like to see.
Azhar at 99.
Even Viru did. Viru's also got 100.
Azhar 99. Viru has done it. Yeah. Viru is actually the last one, the
Yeah.
11th man.
Ajay Chawla is doing research for us for free now. So there you go.
Yeah,
Sachin, Dravid, Sunny G, Kumble, the Dhoni, of course,
No,
was
Dhoni.
90. Yeah. It's all him. He just one day got up in Australia and said, "Bus, ho gaya."
Oh, okay. Both were.
Bas, bol diya to bol diya. Otherwise, I was quite, I mean, everybody was surprised when that happened. So yeah, a notable
Okay.
exception there.
Guys,
Okay.
anything
Pretty
else
well.
you want to bring up on
Do we
the
count them?
minnows before we move to the Ashes?
So is India going to win the
I
series?
mean, I'm going to. I don't think they're minnows. As I said, we've never. It's not tough. It's not easy to win in South Africa at all. And I
Yeah,
think this
minnows
time,
is a bit much.
it's as last time. I think it's a contest of a perfectly matched set of two teams, right? I think our fast bowling again matches up. Both the teams match up, even though they are without Enrique Nokia.
Yeah.
Wayne Oliver is back. Olivier
Yeah.
post that call pack business. I don't know if you guys have seen him. He played a few tests
He's
2-3
good.
years ago. He's quick.
Yeah.
He's quick. Gets the movement in both directions, and his record at home is bloody good. Yeah,
He's very good
It's
at
like
home.
He's like he's like their Akshar Patel, like with a very low average and a super low strike rate.
Nice.
I mean, he gets a wicket every 30 balls or something like that. That's like
Oops.
that's legend stuff, right? So it's Rabada, Ngidi, Olivier versus, I'm assuming, Bumrah, Shami, Siraj. On merit, that's fairly equal. Based on career records, I don't know. I guess it favors India, but it'll have to come down to how they bowl, right? And the batting, the last time they had Amla, Faf, ABD versus our three middle order stars. But this time, I'd say ours is the middle order, which is in their waning years, and the South Africa middle order of the likes of Bavuma and Rassi, Van der Dusen perhaps have their best years ahead of them. So maybe again in the batting we slightly have an edge. Punt versus de Kock is fairly equal. So I think
And de Kock might not play the second and third because of paternity leave.
Well,
I think
but
third
then
he's
I
not
think
playing.
his third is
Second, if
confirmed.
the COVID bubble stuff, he might have to
Maybe,
miss the second as well.
Right. But
But yeah,
what I'm
I
hearing
mean-
is that Kyle Verreynne, who's their replacement, he's also very good. That's what I'm hearing. I mean, we've seen Henrik Klaassen, right? And Kyle Verreynne edged out Henrik Klaassen. So,
Yeah.
openers
Dude, I
again,
remember Klaassen from
it's
one
Rahul.
game where he went
Yeah.
after Kulcha
One
in a
game,
T20
yeah.
game, right? Or a 50 over
Yeah,
game, I've
yeah.
forgotten.
But,
Rain
but
shot
he's a
and
good
game it
solid
was.
bat. Yeah, he's got a good
पर
solid
उसके
bat.
बाद मैंने उसको कहीं नहीं देखा कुछ मार. I'm very excited. Like, you know how you see a batter once and you go, if they're on, you want to kind of watch and you know what's going to
There was
happen.
the
It'll be
Ashton
exciting.
Turner also, right? Remember?
Ashton Turner when he came to India, right,
Yeah.
with Australia.
Yeah.
And I've just never kind of seen that again, which is so disappointing.
All these
Yeah.
flash in the
So
pan.
just to
Yes,
round my point, I'm again going
Yeah.
to say, as far as openers go, Rahul and Agarwal versus Makram, who's in really good form, and Elgar, who's captain. So it's quite a balanced fight if you guess what I'm saying, right? So I'm saying
Takkar.
if the venues are the same, if the pitch is kind of the same, remember South Africa, they haven't played Test cricket all year, so I see 4-day games, low scoring games. The difference between the two teams is going to be Virat Kohli, the captain, the leader, the guy who's going to be setting the tone and firing the salvos. So it's our best opportunity to win in South Africa ever, and I think we can do it. But it'll
and
have to be
also-
Virat at his most ruthless, right? That's the
Score
that's
predictions,
what's gonna
guys,
have to-
quickly. Let's go around. Score predictions.
2-1 India.
Yeah.
2-1.
I'm going with 3-0 India.
Woo. We're gonna record
I'd go
this
to-
and we'll play it at the.
I'd go
Yeah,
2-1.
it stays forever. I'm putting my neck out there, but
Recorded already, isn't it? Yeah,
I-
ऐसा
yeah,
कर
it's-
रहे हैं.
I hope you guys are recording this.
This
There's some
It'll
Oh,
stay
acha,
out
at
there.
the end of the live, you have to put that option
Yeah.
up, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now you better.
Well,
2-1,
Manan,
2-1.
now it's recorded video.
Rakesh, what's yours?
2-1, I'd say 2-1. But
2-1.
Indian openers will have to bat out of their skin to sort of to help India win, because openers have always been it's been a problem. Last time around we had 5 openers playing out there. Like we had even Parthiv opening the inning, Rahul, Parthiv,
Shikhar,
so
Vijay.
Shikhar, Vijay, Rahul, Parthiv, and
There was no Gambhir.
no Gambhir. That's all. Vijay, Dhawan,
That's it,
Rahul, and
4.
Parthiv. So four openers.
Well,
let's see how
last
many
time
openers-
Rohit Sharma kept out Ajinkya Rahane in the middle order.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
he
they brought Rahane back, and that's the game we won.
Correct. Centurion, they dropped him. They dropped him. They didn't play him. Ashwin played the Centurion test, didn't play the Joburg test. Rahane came back in Johannesburg and won the game.
Yeah.
But remember, Bhuvneshwar was man of the match because of his batting, more than his bowling.
Let's
We were 50
that
for
was-
5
that
pretty
was the
much in
fun
every
part.
game.
Yeah.
And
Hardik saved us.
Hardik saved us in one game. I mean, not saved us, but he got us 200.
From blushes.
Is the Ashes going to be a whitewash?
Should we take some of the comments?
Let's see.
Yeah.
There's just been
Any
some of
comments,
the match predictions. I'm
Where
just
is
gonna
Sundar? Sundar is playing Vijay Hazare finally for Karnataka.
Finger issue, right?
No, he's playing
fine.
now.
He's
He
back.
played the semi-final.
But
He's
that was his
back.
injury, right? If I remember correctly, it was a finger injury, no? England.
Yes.
Yeah. 6 months. Wow. Took a long time.
So Gaurav, the queue is so long. Once you fall out of it, you have to again stand in the queue right at the back. that shows the.
Man, I mean, look at it right now.
So I think when
India's-
when the tour came up for selection, he wasn't available.
Although I gotta say,
He's just
Sundar
started playing.
6 at Gabba is like my moment of the year, like cricketing moment of the year for me. That's 6. Unbelievable.
Before we moved on to the Ashes, we didn't discuss the playing 11, the first playing 11, what it should be. I mean, who are you playing?
India's or South
The
Africa's?
entire 11. India's. South Africa will be tough to guess with so many new players, so many new names.
इंडिया का देखते हैं भाई इंडिया का क्या
Especially
होगा, तो
India के
मेरे-
bowlers
my
किसको
observation-
खिलाओगे आप? Is Ishant
Let's go.
getting a chance? Not getting a chance?
No, he's not. I think somebody made a statement.
Rahul
right?
and
One of
Mayank
the selectors
Pujara, Virat. So first 4 select themselves.
selected. Pant, Ashwin, Shami, Bumrah select themselves.
Okay.
I think.
I thought you were playing Pant at 5 and Ashwin at 6.
No,
so
I'm
I-
saying these
I
4
thought you
select
did. So
themselves.
basically, I thought you were circling around the number 5 question.
Now, so somebody saying please Ashwin or not, I don't think there's an option. We will play one spinner. I think what's our track record of not playing a
नहीं ना Akshar and Ravinder are both not there. Jadeja and Akshar are
And
both not
Yadav
there.
is the other
Yeah.
spinner.
Yeah.
So, I
So
mean,
we have to
Ashwin-
play Ashwin.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. Like if you decide to play 5 fast bowlers, then I think Shardul Thakur will end up being our 4th fast bowler simply because he can bat well.
Yeah.
With 350s in 4 test matches is actually better than most of our number 3s and 4s are doing.
But he's not played in
So
South
you're
Africa
saying
yet.
that
Still
8
no.
is Thakur, and then
I'm
in
saying
9, 10,
7 is Thakur, 8 is Ashwin, or the other way around. 6 is Pant.
Come on, respect, yeah. Ashwin has more test centuries.
5 test matches, okay.
Yeah, 5 centuries.
Shardul
Anyway,
Thakur has a
chalo.
higher average.
Chalo,
Shardul
7.
Thakur average is 50.
Lord has
Chalo, ठीक है, 7, 8, 7, 8.
Yeah, 7, 8.
As required.
Bumrah Shami makes 9 and 11.
Yeah.
So, or 10, whichever.
10.
Now, is it? I would go with Siraj, and I think one of the
Siraj.
selectors has made a statement saying that Siraj is ahead of the queue.
Siraj should be in there.
That's
Given
a
the
good
way his year started, yeah.
That's a good attack.
No,
And at
also
5,
the way he
at
bowled.
5, I'm saying Rahane.
Yeah.
I'm going for
Rahane
Rahane.
has to play.
I would definitely. I mean, much as I'm a Shreyas Iyer fan, I think Rahane has earned his.
So
That's right.
Vihari
not his
misses
time.
out, Iyer misses out, right?
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I think I see Vihari coming in at number 3 in place of Cheteshwar Pujara
Pujara?
before their
In the first
series
game?
has ended.
Oh.
Not. I said
No,
before the
first-
series has ended.
Bold prediction.
Big
never
call,
know.
brother.
I
Hashtag
Throw
big
so many
call.
out left. It's Indian cricket. You throw some
Vihari
random
has to-
straight out of there. Something will happen.
Hot take.
Neerav,
Something
I'm
will stick.
with you on this.
Shubman
I'm
Gill.
totally with you on
Shubman
this.
Gill at 3. They have to get Vihari into the team, man. Come on. You know.
Yeah.
और
He's
कितना
spent
और
there a
करेगा?
month and a half now. Spent there a
And
month
he's-
and a half. And he can bowl. He can bowl some off spin. He's got
I
wickets
don't
for
think
India.
we'll need his. If after
I'm just
4
saying.
fast bowlers and Ashwin, if we need a Vihari to take wickets, we are in trouble.
He's done, I think he's
Just
done it in
relax.
England for us. And he's got wickets as well. So you never know.
Yeah. Shall we move a bit to the more iconic Boxing Day test traditionally?
Come on.
Neerav, you had said when we were talking a little bit earlier about how England's approach in the second game really angered you. Like you were just angered.
Yeah, he
watching.
was angry.
So, I mean, this is the
This-
space. So, like, I
Neerav-
Let's
want-
not go
Neerav-
there, man.
Neerav quite literally fell off his bike.
Yeah, नीरव चाचा बड़े नाराज हो गए जी, वो कह रहे हैं शादी पे नहीं आएंगे, वो बड़े
Neerav
नाराज हो
didn't want to talk
गए.
about the
Feelings,
Ashes. because he
feeling
said,
hurt
"Okay,
हो गई, उनकी feelings hurt हो गई हैं.
But Neerav, this is a safe
Like
space.
okay, so
Let's hear from
is it? But like you know, do
बोल दे भाई,
children
बोल दे,
watch
बोल दे.
this show?
बोल दो भाई, बोल
Do
दो भाई.
children watch this show?
बिना गाली के.
Yeah, अच्छा, okay.
Yeah.
This England team is utter shit. That's it. It's like I haven't seen. I mean, they can't bat, they can't bowl, they can't field. Joe Root aside, but he's such a shit captain that you know it baffles me that nobody is there talking sense in the dressing room. It baffles me. They bowl awful lines, awful lengths. They go defensive in the first 15 minutes of a test match. Well, forget 15 minutes. They go defensive at a selection of the first test match of the first series, right up front. Vicky, हम अपने अच्छे हमारे बचा के रखेंगे कबर्ड में. Our best bowlers we will keep aside to play later. Like that's not how you go into a new series. You put your best 11 in the park. I'm sorry, but that's how cricket should be played. You don't save up in the gas tank कि 3 महीने बाद देखेंगे क्या होता है कि शायद एंड में आके
It's like you
fifth. Come on, there are 5 test matches. You play your best 11 and then decide how you want to play the next test match. They decided not to play their top 2 bowlers. They don't, like, I don't know, man. They're bowling. I mean, the way I look at it, okay, let me put it bluntly. There's a talk of them having bad luck. If everything they did, which was unlucky, like no balls and dropped catches, if everything went their way, the reverse happened, they still would have lost badly in both the tests. And I think they will continue to lose till they get their head sorted, because this is a team which looks to be defensive 15 minutes into a game.
Sorry, just to add, I mean, Neerav is not being as angry as he was on the call yesterday. He's being very well behaved, so I have to commend him on that. Well done. But there is, when Joe Root spoke in the post match conference and he said, our lengths were wrong, we went very quickly to short pitch bowling. मैंने कहा भाई पिछले 5 दिन ये कहाँ था? मतलब ये innings तो बड़ी 2 दिन चली यार. 2 दिन किसी ने नहीं सोचा.
Are you not talking to your team? Like, are you?
Ponting said he fell off his chair when he saw those comments.
also.
I fell off my bicycle, boss, when I heard him.
He said,
Brain fade, is it? There is one.
Neerav
word,
was just
brain
listening
fade.
on the bicycle. He was not watching kids.
listening.
He was
I was
not
listening.
watching the screen. He was listening. Okay,
and I
on his
was like,
bicycle.
dude, what shit is he talking? Like, what is he saying? How can you say that you make bad decisions, you lead badly, and then you sell your bowlers down the river?
And once again, out of those 2 bowlers, what are their choices, right? मतलब Anderson or Broad, between them 300 match खेल चुके हैं यार. Come on. I don't know, man. I was just.
And Gaurav, here you're talking about their bowling, and I've just read somewhere that English batters were made to watch each and every wicket that fell in a very heated Ashes meeting in the England boardroom. So the whole blame is on batters and not so much on bowlers.
You can tell कि वहाँ पे कुछ गड़बड़ है, things are crumbling. Also, I just want to say, the Spanish word for 2 is dos, right?
Dos.
He's not Jose Butler, he's Dos Butler. Man, there were 2 people playing that match.
That's the most bizarre.
One genius and one butterfingers, bumbler.
That has to be the most bizarre test performance of all time.
There was a Dos Butler and a Joss Bumbler. I was like, what's going on with this guy, man?
This guy was brought into the test team to be aggressive, right?
Yeah.
To take the attack. You bats at 7, you're supposed to come for his good strike rate. He's struggling to. It's intent, yeah. It boils down to the intent, and their intent is very okay. हम तो हारने वाले हैं. Let's take it to the 5th day. You can't start a test match like that.
So who would you blame for this? Would you say, Neerav, you'll say it's Joe Root? It's Joe Root's fault?
Joe Root is obviously a terrible captain.
Field,
He's lost 10 matches this year. There must be a damn good reason. And from whatever stats I've read, the only time England hasn't lost a match is Joe Root has got a century or a double century this year. So he better be getting the 100s and 200s.
Batting तो बड़ी अच्छी कर रहा है वो, obviously.
Yeah, like
वो ठीक कर रहा है. David Malan is also. David Malan, actually, I like the look of him. Huh? David Malan gives sense while he's batting, gives me a sense of that this team is not going to fold. Yeah. But okay, they are missing Archer.
Yeah, they need him back as soon as possible.
That's it. Look, okay, so let's go back in time, 16, 18 months. They had struggles with Sibley and Crawley. And it was said at that time that these guys are going to be our Ashes people, so let's groom them. They top of the year, they prioritize the Ashes. Top of the year, January of 2021, with India coming in the middle. They prioritize their Ashes, and this is where they come. It's ridiculous.
They've been talking about this Ashes for a while now, that they're planning for this. Chris and Wood's come up so many times. And this
Everything is.
Ollie Robinson bowling spin. Like that is what the planning came
Oh
down
man,
to.
That
come
is
on.
that.
With sunglasses.
That is
Yeah,
With sunglasses.
that.
Like, dude, are you like
that
serious?
was insane. That was
Yeah,
insane to
and
see.
Mark Wood at 140 sitting on the bench, warming it,
The
making it
Nirav,
nice
the
and
only
warm for
reason
them.
why
yeah.
why
Where is
I
he 140? He's 150.
yeah,
हाँ वो जो भी
Mark
है
Wood is
मतलब
constantly tickling 150.
yeah.
the
Yeah.
only
And
reason
apparently
why
he
I
can't
see
play two
Ollie
matches on the
Robinson
trot. So
Yeah, it's but
all,
Manas
all
Mark
Labuschagne,
Wood
workers
can't
came
play
back.
two matches on the trot. What is going on? Like what is going on? Like where have you
And
heard these excuses?
यार here's the
on top
thing.
of it, they have
प्लेयर बुरे नहीं है यार, प्लेयर इतने अच्छे हैं इंग्लैंड के अगर आप देखो, राइट? पर
He, मतलब Ben Stokes
टीम
is
पता नहीं क्या है.
underperforming. Accept it. That's it. This is the rest of it is this is their talent. It's I'm sorry,
Actually
but they don't know how
bowler
to play.
उनके, you're right, bowler उनके अच्छे
I
हैं.
mean,
ठीक bowler है
Oli Pope
मतलब
का थोड़ा
in
फॉर्म अच्छा
English
नहीं चल रहा है.
conditions.
Oli Pope is a good player.
यार
Oli
ओली
Pope
पोप
should
25
be-
टेस्ट मैच खेल चुका है यार ऐसा कुछ मतलब
मैंने तो
नॉट
कोई
लाइक
इनिंग्स
दिस
नहीं
यंग
देखी
स्प्रिंग
अभी उससे,
चिकन
I don't know, maybe I missed it,
हाँ
but
मतलब
there's nothing about वहाँ पे ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. ओली पोप को
ओली
देख
पोप
के
इज
या
अ
रॉरी
ग्रेट गाय
बर्न्स को
फॉर
देख के
20s आउट होने वाला
या
होएगा ही 20-25
या
रन मार के आउट होएगा ही
ऐसा नहीं
he's
लगता
played
कि
25 test matches it's
right.
not a joke like 25 is when Pat Cummins was being considered for next Australia captain. Pat Cummins has played just 10 test matches more than him, 10-12 test
Let's
matches.
see.
So
yeah. I think even like Rory Burns has played like I think 6 games less than Cummins or something like that. So it's pretty crazy how much Test cricket these guys have played.
You're right, he's
they
played
played a lot
22
yeah
test matches. Ollie Pope has played 22 test matches. He's just got
by
1,000 runs at just shade less than 30.
Yeah.
dude that guy would have been his first class career in India would have been over.
Yeah. Let's quickly touch a bit upon Labuschagne, number 1 Test batter in the world now. Again, got some runs. But he seems to be like this guy who just performs at home because he's not played abroad. He's not played in Asia. He's only played abroad in England. In the 20 tests, I think about 14 are at home, 14, 15. So it's fair, but you got to say that guy's no run, the way he plays it's amazing.
He's
There are
such
two
a joy
Smiths.
to watch. It's bizarre, right? But that's the thing, right? When Manas Labuschagne is batting, Labuschagne, when Manas is batting, you feel safe, right? If you're a Australia cricket fan, you feel safe. You feel like this guy is, going to take a bullet, but he's not going to give his wicket. There's
More
a
than
very
take a bullet, he leaves the
Rahul
bullet.
Dravid quality, to him, where it feels safe. Steve Smith quality to him. He feels safe.
Yeah.
As a batter. He's delightful. I think he's so quirky. I love watching quirky. I know a lot of people, I get a lot of flack for this because Steve Smith is definitely not your traditional batter, right? So people will say, oh, he doesn't bat like Virat or Joe Root or Kane Williamson. He's not classical. But that's why I like watching him so much, right? You can like both. It's not an either or. It's not like, oh, you can either like Virat and Kane's style of batting or you can like Steve. I love both their styles, but Steve Smith is hilarious. That Courtney Walsh style of leaving the ball is it's so entertaining on Test cricket. I love it.
The thing
I
with
have a
Manas
difference
is
of
he
opinion
doesn't
because
take
I
a
was
bullet.
listening
Yes.
to the commentary and not watching. And Manas Labuschagne, while batting, is a commentator in himself. So it's bizarre when the commentators stop and we hear the stump cam, and I'm just listening because I can't make out what's going on. I'm not watching, and it's great. He talks to himself. He keeps praising himself. Well played, man. No run. He goes and it's like it's an irritant. Hearing him is an irritant.
Him and Pant in the
is my
middle,
favorite.
unbelievable.
Him and वो
Him and
उसको मतलब उसको सुन के ना डेविड वॉर्नर भी इमिटेट करना शुरू करता है. So that's the danger now. It's contagious. It went from Steve Smith to Manas and now it's going to the others.
Yeah. Isa Guad brought up this in commentary. Do you think he can make it in the limited overs format, like in T20s, Manas? Do you think the skills can translate?
I think we saw that, all of us saw that piece of commentary where I think it was Shane Warne or somebody who said, well, if you give him that challenge, he's the kind of guy you can tell. If you give him a challenge and say that you can never be part of T20, in 1 year he'll be a part of T20. So he seems like
What's his BBL record?
So-
Can somebody dig it up?
I'll do it.
So in the meanwhile, Labuschagne is actually a South Africa born. I didn't know. Labuschagne's parents are from South Africa.
Yeah.
So South Africans wish if he was there for this series for them. We were
Yes.
just talking about South African
So-
batting and
The long
One
list players.
No?
One sec. He's
But
not
we
played
have
any
long list.
T20 game.
he hasn't.
BBL नहीं खेला
He's
होगा
not
यार.
played BBL.
Really?
Maybe he was preparing for Ashes.
Yeah, I mean, no, but the last few years,
From
I guess, every time
2011?
BPL is on, there's a test series on, right? So I guess that's why he's not played. That's
Maybe
what it
the last
says.
couple of years,
Just
but
checking on
He made his
Big
debut
Buzz, it
2018.
says he's played zero
yes.
T20s. Maybe it's T20I then.
I think he's part of Brisbane Heat. Not wrong.
Yeah, this can't be right. It's probably T20I. Sorry, I'm reading it wrong.
Yeah, that's
Manas.
possible.
Just do Manas. Abushin BPL,
Yeah,
right?
He's
Brisbane
played
Heat.
for Brisbane Heat.
Brisbane Heat.
No, he
Okay,
hasn't won nothing big.
Yeah. I think
113
24
strike
matches.
rate, average 19. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Average.
got
He's
16
got a-
matches on the
BAFTA,
Brisbane Heat
Basra,
website.
Gafra, Basra. Average and strike rate of, it's less than 160. So just a shade under 160.
Pallav Pandey's got us covered. Pull up the stats here.
Yeah, Loji, thank
There
you.
you go.
ये पूछ लेना चाहिए मतलब why do we even make the effort?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
All
Kiss
these
Yeah,
the
I've
nerdy-
got 16
nerdy
matches.
Yeah.
I've got 16 matches on the Brisbane Heat website. Same runs though.
So there you go.
But yeah.
15. So what is his Basra is it's less than 135 then. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it depends
Okay,
on
that's
what his
very
average is. Average 19,
Yeah.
20. Okay, yeah. So 123, 133.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Okay. That's not good.
But then again, if he's been playing Test
That's
cricket
why-
for
that's
4
why he
years,
does
he's
so
not been
well
playing
in
BBL
Test
for 4
cricket.
years.
Maybe he's not being considered because of his strike rate. Because he's in that test mode all the time.
Aiga. Do you think they're gonna do any changes?
Who?
Australia? Do you think? Do we
Australia
know
will
if
bring
Hazelwood
back.
and Cummins?
I think
do you
yeah.
think
One of
Cummins is
them,
back?
Cummins will come back.
Yeah.
Hazelwood, I don't know. Obviously, it's an injury. Cummins was not an injury. Cummins was some weird.
COVID.
rules.
They will have to rotate
yeah.
players, right?
But
Given they
Cummins
are
is
winning
captain.
2-0
He'll be
up.
back, and I think Nisa will go.
Yeah.
Richardson did well enough, so I think
That's all.
they won't miss
That will be the
Hazelwood.
only
But
change.
that's
I
about
guess.
it.
Yeah.
Everybody else is scoring runs or taking wickets, and most importantly, taking catches.
That guy was good, no? Jai, 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 Jai. Carry on. You guys can. I'll just keep mumbling this in the background.
Score, background score.
England doesn't really have a bench to get people from.
They'll have to play the bench only. If the bench plays, I think it'll bat better. The actual bench just stands up in front of the. You just put up the bench in front of the 3 wickets. I think it may last longer. Knowing their luck, it'll probably fall on the wickets and it'll be out.
There have also been some on quick IPL stuff.
And they have
some
to-
coaching announcements as
We have
well.
to do some soul searching.
Yeah.
What about IPL, should we?
There have been some coaching announcements. Lucknow have got
Oh, yeah.
Andy Flower, Gautam Gambhir.
They picked
And
up
Sunrisers
couple of-
with this big list. Yeah, there we go.
I love the Brian Lara appointment. Love it. It says Brian
Left-handers,
Lara over here,
left-handers,
which is correct.
left-handers.
Says we obviously didn't spell check it before putting it up. It says Brain Lara, but that's fine. He is quite the brain. So maybe this is
Given-
not a
given
mistake.
his-
and maybe we just did
Given
this
he has to build all the strategy, he has to build the strategy, so he'll have to use his brain.
Yeah, as long as we didn't put brain like Lala. That would be 2 typos would have been hard
Let's
to
fix
justify.
this. Let's fix this. We can fix it.
One weekend. So yeah, there's some interesting appointments over here. This will be fun. So
Uttaiya's
auction
interesting,
12th and 13th.
Three
12th and
Don't-
13th.
don't-
left-handers. Do you notice?
Don't we
3
also have a
left-handers there?
backroom support staff, which can fix typos and stuff?
Yeah.
It's fine.
We're not even.
Okay.
I mean,
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
The auctions
We
are there.
already
at
made
12,
already
13.
made a joke about it. Just carry on.
12th, 13th, Feb. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Vijay
think
Dahiya
12th,
and Gautam
13th.
Gambhir.
It's funny because there's an India game, I think, on the 12th. So there'll be a simultaneous thing. So that could be a
India
little-
West Indies.
Yeah, India West Indies, an ODI. So
ODI on the
That-
12th. You sure?
Yep.
In India,
yeah.
they'll push it.
I know there's one.
West
on the
Indies
18th,
are quite
20th.
accommodating. They'll do
No,
something.
but the board came out and said no, it shouldn't be a problem. We'll be going ahead.
Is it a T20I or an ODI?
ODI.
Yeah, 12th, third ODI. So
Yeah.
it is.
It's a T20 World Cup year. Why will they be playing
12th,
T20s?
15th, 18th, 20th.
Yeah. They'll just Save it for the
Three-
World Cup.
three ODIs and 3 T20s.
Nice.
So,
Wow, and they're really going around the country with West Indies in those 6 games. Ahmedabad, because one game has to be played there all the time. And every Jaipur,
I think they'll.
Calcutta,
Are they playing anything in Lucknow?
Cuttack, Visakhapatnam, Tiruvananthapuram. Nice.
We're getting ambitious, huh?
Yeah.
there have been suggestions that Ahmedabad is taking Kirsten. Gary Kirsten, I think, is heading to Ahmedabad. There's some rumors.
I
about
hope
that.
so, man.
I
Rumors-
think they are
rumors-
talking about him. They are talking.
Awesome dude. He's an awesome dude.
He's a friend of the Oaktree cinematic universe.
Yeah, man. I love him. It's the greatest guy. There's a little more GK episode, if you remember, Nirav, that he and I did. GK,
Yeah,
Hamara GK or Unka GK, when India was playing South Africa, I think, wasn't it?
In
It's on our
it was
channel.
in the Champions Trophy.
Yeah,
one day.
Champions Trophy. Because I was shooting with him for something in Budapest, I think.
Brussels.
Budapest. In Budapest. No, Brussels, I was shooting with Vishwanathan Anand. And then I went to Budapest and I was shooting with Gary Kirsten there. And then we did this and he was such a sport. And we did a little more GK with 2 GKs. Hamara GK or Unka GK. Gary Kirsten and Gaurav Kapoor. That was a fun one. Let's put that link in the description as well.
Yep.
So that will be his first gig in the IPL, right? As a
No, his third.
coach.
Gary
Delhi and
Kirsten, he's
Bangalore.
been with Delhi.
Delhi
Oh
and
yeah,
Bangalore.
correct. Delhi.
Bangalore
Delhi
and
and Bangalore.
Yeah,
I
he's
just
been both
completely.
places.
When did he last? He was there.
2019.
Last year, besides this season.
2000
Previous.
before
2 seasons ago.
the lockdown.
19.
Before the
So
lockdown.
19.
And also he's going. Is Nehra
19.
also going to Ahmedabad? I'm listening. Ashish Nehra.
Yeah.
Well, these
It's
are
a
all
lot of-
rumors. I mean, it's
Yeah.
unsubstantiated. Let's not get into what random cricket websites put up.
Yeah.
Let's wait for Cricinfo or one of the authentic cricket buzz to
Yeah.
verify it.
Or the people themselves to say.
Or the people themselves. That will help.
Awesome. Guys, I've got a 7 o'clock dropout. So is there any other thing you patients would like to discuss? Any other prescription I can give you? Anything else I can interest you? Joke, smoke?
No prescription, but you can promote
Ben
one of
Stoke.
Ben Stoke, Chris Vogue.
Ben Folk also.
Folk bhi to hai. There's a folk.
Usko-
Ah.
They should play Vokes and Stokes just for us to have fun.
One of them will take the catch. Remember that in that combination,
Yeah.
has to take a catch.
Nice. Excellent.
Let's wrap. Guys, we're going to be having a discussion at 8 p.m. on Clubhouse. The same discussion. We've spoken a lot. Now we want to hear from you. So join us on Clubhouse at 8. The link to join is in the description. And yeah, we'll see you there. Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you.
And
See you guys.
subscribe to our weekly newsletter. Shameless plug.
Yeah, you got to be shameless. Chalo.